I was being a smartass, guys. Don't get personal. I mean, I do that being a smartass pretty well. Just saying.
Was it
Well,
the
you got
dude that did the poll? I mean,
Actually, I've when I take some of these polls, I lie, if not for no other reason, just to skew their numbers because they're going to change they're going to use some kind of algorithm to like they change the votes. They're going to change my replies. So
Well, I'm wondering because we're trying to pull around to the tax commissioner's office. It's right across the street from the courthouse where the DA is, and looks like a lot of police activity. We might be here and accidentally timed it when T-Man shows up, but I don't know. I'm hoping that's not the case because we'll get stuck in traffic. So we're gonna try to hurry up and pay this so we can get out of here.
what you got, Tap?
I was given a reminder for top of the hour. I know it's riveting talking about property taxes. We just went live on Rumble. Good morning, Punchbowl. Happy Friday Eve. We've got some new promos in the bank. We knocked out a lot of work yesterday. It's going to be a good day. But I want you all to remember something. Even though it's Friday Eve, don't you dare start to normalize cannibalism in this space. All right. I'm sure I'll chime in later when someone says something I don't like.
I've come to discover that you don't have a. I'll stop. Go ahead. Bishop, I'm sorry.
Okay, folks, let's get down to brass tacks. In an age where our media is cluttered with superficial nonsense and ideologically driven drivel, there exists a platform that genuinely promotes discourse, the Punchbowl. Here's the deal. You've got this team that not only discusses critical issues, but does so with depth, intellect, and dare I say, a hint of humor. And then there's Samuel, who they say is the ambassador to the intergalactic reptilian overlords, a fun myth, or a genius marketing ploy. You decide. If you're looking for substantial discussions without the mainstream bias, the Punchbowl.space is where you should be. And hey, if you believe in promoting good content, hit that like, repost, and share. It's not just about engaging with the content. It's about promoting ideas and narratives that matter in today's convoluted digital landscape. Let's get into it.
is that AI Tap? Is that what that is?
That's Ben Shapiro, dude. He loves us.
Oh, I dare not tell you how I make the sausage. As far as we know, I'm just really good at impressions, or my wife is, or maybe one of my dogs. Maybe it's Creamsicle.
Well, I've come to the conclusion, Tap, that you're not a Thursday guy because every week when Thursday rolls around, you're promoting Friday. So, I mean, that's not a bad idea, but I mean, come on, give Thursday a chance, brother.
Did he just claim that his cat is Ben Shapiro?
All we are saying is give Thursday a chance.
Bishop, could we bring Mr. Jeff up? Go ahead, Al.
So, Tap, it's good to see that you have awakened from your drunken stupor last night. And I knew that was Ben Shapiro right away. And just for the record, I am the one who promotes Friday because it's Red Friday, and that's tomorrow. So I do have my dates in order. I sometimes have a hard time remembering what I did the day before, but I do know Red Friday, and I'm a huge proponent of it. So I will drop that in the pill tomorrow, as I do every week. And yeah, Ben Shapiro's wife is actually a medical doctor, I find out. Isn't that right? Or that's what she claims to be, at least.
That's right, gang. Okay, folks. She's a medical doctor, and she's very pretty.
There's something weird. All the Breitbart typey dudes, they all marry doctors. Like the guy who does Breitbart, the editor in chief of Breitbart, he's like, and so I married a doctor, and they all talk like this, and they talk real fast, and they're like, and so my wife's a doctor, and she's a doctor, and I just sit around on a podcast.
Okay, gang. I just love saying that. All right, for today's episode, everyone has to do their best Ben Shapiro impression whenever they're, even if you're mad, you have to do a Ben Shapiro chat.
Fun fact, I'm wearing a yarmulke for no reason.
just well, never mind.
Here's what I'm saying. Flags make a spectacle of itself.
Okay, guys. I believe we're gonna give P.O. Tex a try. Go ahead, Tex.
Okay, I'm from South Texas. I can't talk that fast, so I got a suggestion for the Punch Bowl. Uh, what are the chances of instituting like a mid-show? You know, when you get a whole bunch of folks in here that we do the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag. What do you think about that?
Disavow.
Wait, you haven't done it already?
Oh no, I'm all by myself, just me and my dogs, and they don't participate. So
P.O., I'd encourage y'all to do it. I ain't gonna do it. When I go to city council, when I go to planning and zoning, when that comes up, I stand up. I keep my mouth shut. I keep my arms by my side. I respect those who say it, but I don't say it myself because I don't believe in those words. I don't believe that flag represents what it used to. I don't believe the spirit of that pledge still applies to our nation, and I don't believe the majority of the people are worth pledging allegiance to. So no, I will not do that.
well, I mean, my perspective is a tad different on it. The perspective is it's about you, not everybody else, and it's basically where your heart lays. Does your heart lay with what the flag represents or what it's become? That's why I feel good about it, and that's why I call people out who don't put their hand over their heart and pledge to the fact that what we once were could be again.
I like saying it out loud wherever I am because I like to say "one nation under God" really loud, just to watch some people like look to see who said that.
Yeah, the words don't sit right with me. It feels like lying. I don't feel like it's a republic anymore. I don't feel like most of the nation is under God. Like it's just one of those things. Like it's bullcrap to me. And even when it was written, I don't believe that America was really like what they envisioned when they wrote that thing during the timepiece. I'm not going to go out of my way to aid any other nation, but I will not recite that pledge because I don't believe in it. And it's, as far as what I got to accept, I got God, I got to do right by my wife, and that's about it. And I got to pay my fucking taxes, I guess. But these imaginary borders and the cloth and the designs that they represent, I got a hard on for America, but I'm not going to do the mandatory fun or fake patriotism. I'll do what's needed. I'll do the shit of substance, but uttering those words, nope, not going to do it.
Well, Tap, you shouldn't have prostituted into making it about you, because really it is about you. If you say all those things and you have a heart on for America, the pledge is you are pledging to those words as to how you feel about your country, not if the country is there. The idea is for people to make those pledges, constantly remind them of the pledge of the United States and what it represents and the fucking people that have buried and been dead fighting for it. So I push back real fucking hard. And the idea of the pledge is you are pledging your solemn grace to that flag, to this country. So talking about whether or not we have open borders and people are fucking each other for fun as men, that has nothing to do with the pledge. The pledge is you standing erect with your hand over your heart, pledging your allegiance to a nation, a flag, and what it once represented, whether it was written right or not. If you believe in the words and that you pledge your allegiance to this country, then everything you just said is out of context.
I don't know. I feel like somewhere in the middle of this conversation is the idea that maybe it's time for a rewording. Notice the one that we operate on is like the 50s. It became a thing in the 40s, right? Right after Pearl Harbor, it
Why do
becomes
we
a
keep
thing.
moving the goalposts, Samuel?
But I'm not moving a goalpost. I just take Tap's point, and I think you and Tap are saying the same thing, that the pledge is really a singular thing, although we do it together. Because if you look at the language, it's like I pledge allegiance. But Tap's point stands because it says I pledge allegiance, to this for that which it stands, right? That I'm pointing towards this idea past it. that I hope is there. And so I think the pledge itself allows someone to say, well, I don't pledge this allegiance, right? Like I'll stand and do the motions, but he might have a point here. I think at least like it's something to discuss, right?
Let's
Because
discuss it
it's,
because it's driving
yeah,
me crazy and I don't want to start my day that way. But I'm not going to be mad. Tap, you're still my favorite robot. I just think you've got some wires plugged together differently.
That's fair.
And I would love to have this discussion. Maybe we need to break this down because I just don't know why it needs to be reworded. It's like, okay, that doesn't really fit me. So can we add an adjective over here? Why can't we just be fucking America and the history in it, the good, the bad, the ugly we accept, and we lift up what is important and we throw away what's not. But we continue to remember it so we never do it again. You know, it's just I don't understand why we have to change shit all the time.
What,
That's
what
why
I'll say,
we
Chad, what I'll say is like the reason why I will recite it is just to piss off all the people who hate our country, who want to change everything about our country, who doesn't, they would never want to live in a constitutional republic. They would never want to live where there was freedom. They want authoritarianism, or, you know, they want to be run by oligarchs, or they're still loyal to a monarchical type of government. So for me, it's to rub in their face, because they can't stand our country. And that's why when I do say it, I then feel like I have every right to go and complain about my government. I have every right to be a citizen and to, not only write elected officials, but to chastise them when they're wrong, to show up and push back whenever necessary, because it is my country and because I say the pledge. Half of our elected officials are jackasses, where they won't even say the pledge and they want to, praise other countries and put those countries in front of ours. And then, I just, that's the reason why I say it. Mine is just a rub in the face of those who absolutely hate everything about our country. Like, I can love my country, but I don't have to agree with the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I can stand against that. And I can say I'm totally against that. And then I can say the pledge to remind people that I have a right. I have the right to disavow. I have the right to say I don't agree. That's what makes our country beautiful, and we should take that very seriously. And so I say it in order to push back against those who want to completely destroy our country.
So by that logic, the taking the knee for the national anthem is righteous, right?
No, I just think that if you're going to do it, you get, like, there's going to be
If I may.
blowback. Whatever you decide to do, you're going to have to deal with whatever comes. And that's
Right.
just, yeah.
But what you said is that I do it to upset those that are not as patriotic as I am. I do the Pledge of Allegiance because I have served this country since I was 18 years old, and I've buried people under those flags, and I legitimately pledge my allegiance to this country and everything in it, including everyone in this room, their safety and whatever charge I'm given by under the UCMJ or that of me as a firefighter and former Leo. That was my oath. I pledge allegiance to this flag, to this country, to every single American in the training that I've had in order to protect them and keep them safe. I
Right.
don't say the Pledge of Allegiance to piss other people off. I pledge allegiance so that other people can see what a leadership looks like. I show them what we need to be as a country. I hope they look at me saying, you know what? That guy cries when he hears the national anthem, or he stands the right way for the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't worry about pissing off other people. I do that on Twitter. But the idea of Colin Kaepernick taking a knee, he did that to piss off all of us, to make
Yeah,
a
but that's
point.
because he hates the country. My
But
whole
hang
point,
on real
I
quick.
But
wasn't
no,
even.
no. Excuse me. I just want to say this because you said I do it to piss off those that don't love this country. It's the same concept, AC. It's semantics. He took a knee to piss off those of us that do love the country. So because you love the country, but you do it to piss other people off, it's just semantics. That's
No,
Real
what I'm
because
quick
I
trying
though,
to
didn't
say.
serve
notice.
in.
Hang on real quick, you two.
I didn't
Hang on, you're
serve in the
quibbling. You two are
military.
quibbling real quick. AC, let me make a point real quick because Chad brought up Kaepernick, and that gives us a chance to have a point outside the conversation to focus on. I hate that guy. My biggest problem with him is not even the pledge, but to the larger point, doesn't the pledge say if Kaepernick wants to do that, we don't care. He can do that. if Taft doesn't want to cover his heart, he doesn't have to. That it seems to me that the republic for which it stands says that if Kaepernick wants to stand on his head or eat a turd while everybody does the anthem, he's perfectly allowed to, because we tolerate that kind of stuff. And that's the republic for which it stands. Or am I wrong?
You're absolutely right.
Well, you
Yeah.
think about it also on the other side of the coin is, yeah, the turd has the right to do that, but is it right? And that right there has everything to do with it. Our flag, I mean, when you say the pledge, you're not pledging allegiance to the leadership. You're pledging allegiance for the America and what she stands for. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I
Okay,
didn't
so I
serve.
guess I'm gonna have to be impolite because I've been waiting for a while. Real quick, Tap. Just as a normal citizen, I haven't served this country in the military, but I will say real quickly, this is a matter of principle. And we are either in this country and of this country, or we're not. And I feel your pain. You mentioned taxes. I'll just tell you guys, I pay 50 between state and federal, I pay 55% of my income. Okay? And it boils my blood when I see that, knowing all of the waste that goes on and that I have no control over it, and all of the corruption at the top. But that doesn't define our country, doesn't define the what our founders intended. So they and all those who fought, dead and alive, for this country deserve for us to honor them by giving allegiance. And how do we do that? One is the symbol of the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Since I was mentioned, what I wanted to say is, I didn't serve in the military. I've never taken an oath of office of any kind. All I am is I try to be a good citizen, a good mother, a hard worker, an active citizen. I'll protect my country. I stayed up almost every night during the summer of love, listening to the police scanner and helping those in the neighborhoods who are worried about a falling victim. So I help out whenever I can, however I can. However, I can't tell somebody that they're not allowed to do something, because then we don't live in America. I can't command or, scream at them and say, you're an idiot for, not doing what I say you should do. But what I can do is remind them that there's people like me, that although I know I come from an imperfect country, I will say the pledge. And it's not because I serve the country, and it's because I pledge my loyalty to God. God is who I serve. It's my country that I want to protect from treasonous behavior. I don't want people to come in and pretend that they're just trying to righteously make our country better when they want to literally destroy it from within. So I know there's a ton of people that pretend to like the country, and they're not even loyal to the country. And anytime you say the pledge, that's one thing they cannot stand. It's one thing if someone doesn't want to say it, but they would defend your right to say it. It's another thing when people want to make sure to get rid of our Constitution, and they don't want to hear it, and they don't want it played in a stadium. And I would say the ones that were taking the knee were saying, we don't want to fucking hear it. We don't want you to say it. And that's where I'm like, no, that's not the same thing as me saying it, because I want to rub in the face of people who want to get rid of it and our Constitution and tear up our country from within or without. So just because I'm not doing it from a stance of someone who served and someone who watched dead bodies, I am doing it as a citizen who doesn't want my country taken over. And I don't like when people utilize that I'm not going to pledge my allegiance, and so I'm going to take a knee because I don't even want anyone to have to say it. Just like there were a lot of teachers who wanted to take it out of school, just like with prayer, that's the issues. They wanted to change the very fabric of our nation. I'm not for that. And when I say it, it's to remind those very people who want to change every bit of our nation that, hey, guess what? There's still people who are saying it, and you're not getting rid of it. That's why I do it. I don't feel like I have to do it because I'm showing some loyalty or undying faith like I do for God. It's more so to remind people, hey, don't mess with the best, because the best don't mess.
Thanks, AC. I believe it's Tex then Jason.
Yeah, it's I'm that American who, when I'm sitting at home or just with my family or something like that, and right before a ball game, I will stand. I get up out of my easy chair. I'll stand and posture for my pledge, and I was doing that for years and all my life. As a matter of fact, because my granddad did it, and now my boys do it, and that's part and parcel of what's going on. I mean, so many of these kids have no clue what the flag stands for because they haven't been taught. They're damn sure not taught in school. So if you don't teach it at home, it ain't going to be taught because all the vitriol and crud that they're seeing online, and when they do watch the news, that sort of thing, all they get is BS. I mean, the flag matters to me. It's just a symbol of what America is supposed to be. Like I said, you're not pledging allegiance to its leadership. You're not pledging allegiance to Republicans or Democrats. You're pledging allegiance to what America stands for and what it's supposed to be. That's just where I stand on it, guys. And if you really think about it, you can go all the way back to the Bible. The Bible says we're supposed to be fishers of men. I can't force faith on you, but I can walk the walk and talk the talk. And maybe somebody else is going to say, hey, man, look at that guy. I want what he's got. Maybe I should listen. And it starts there.
Thanks, P.O. Go ahead, Jason.
Can we debunk the Hawaii fires again?
No, I kind of want to stay where we're at currently and talk about this until we run it off the track, and then we can go on to another subject.
Okay.
Samuel, jump in.
I've heard a distressing message this morning, which is you're with us or you're against us. I'm fairly sure I heard that. And I remember when George Bush said, you're either with the terrorists or you're against us. And I was like, this is troubling. And we don't want to go down that road. And I definitely don't think we want to go down that road, like in the town square. And I'll offer a strange idea, which is because the pledge is in the first person, it should be something that just has nothing to do with anybody but you. I would say that. And then if you want to jump up and do it, you should. But I think we definitely don't want to use it as a measuring stick, right? Like if you don't do this right, you're with them, you're against us.
Good points, brother. Al, go ahead.
So this is why I enjoy coming to Punchbowl every morning, because everybody is able to state their views and opinions. But I'm going to say this about the flag. I'm a veteran. I was raised by my grandfather. Well, he instilled the values in me, right? And he was a World War II veteran. So I take my hat off to anybody who served in the military, that's in or has served, or first responders, or anybody who does anything to try to make this country better. And I appreciate everyone's opinions and values. I'm not going to say I don't, but I fly the American flag and the veteran flag outside of my house every single day, and it has a light that shines on it, and it's on a freaking pole so that everybody in my neighborhood can see that I am a patriot, And we had a neighbor that actually turned his flag upside down. He's a veteran, okay? And I called the freaking homeowners association and I said, this is a slap in the face to anybody who's ever served in the military. I demand that he turn it around, because I don't think, you should fly the flag upside down unless the country is in distress. It has not been declared to be in distress. So,
You're wrong.
Well, okay, like I said, everybody has their opinion, but to me, that's the worst thing you could possibly do is fly the flag upside down. I don't agree with it. Just as a veteran, And like I said, everybody has their opinion. and they can do what they want. But as far as, you know, these people kneeling and stuff like that, when you talk about, you know, not believing in what the Pledge of Allegiance is about and stuff like that, you get into the Megan Rapinoe and stuff like that. And that's what's happened to this country. You have all of these people that are speaking out against it, but yet she plays on the USA soccer team, right? So she represents the United States of America, yet she speaks against it. And I have a serious problem with that because, you know, now you have all of these people that have mixed feelings and stuff, and they buy into what she's preaching. And that's part of the problem in this country, is that you have all of these people that have decided, hey, I want to stand up for this, or I want to stand up for that. How about you stand up for your freaking country, right? And if you're going to represent the United States of America on the front of your uniform, you better damn well respect the flag as well. And I will land my plane on that. And I know there's probably people in here that don't agree with, you know, what I'm saying. But like I told you before, I have no problem speaking my mind. And we fought for that, right? So we have freedom of speech, right, wrong, or indifferent. Those are our inalienable rights. So the last thing I'll say is, you know, I'm in the Knights of Columbus, and the first thing we do before we start a meeting is we pledge allegiance to the flag, and then we say the Our Father, because those are the two things that we firmly believe in. And a lot of the Knights are former veterans, you know? So, I mean, you know, whichever way you spin, I think you have to respect your country and what it's about. And it needs to be taught in the schools again.
Thanks, Al. Ned, what you got, buddy?
So here's something that may help you, and it can be said about a number of things, and then I'll get to what I wanted to talk about, but I'm just reacting to the previous comment. Definitely separate the notion of what is an icon and what is an idol. So, and this can be the flag, this can be a Bible, this can be all sorts of things. When and my point being is the flag should not be an idol. The flag should be an icon. And the difference is your emotional response to those two things. And it's the same thing with the Bible. If you're a Christian, is the Bible the Word of God, or is it black ink on pieces of paper bound into something? And if someone destroys the physical Bible, are they destroying the Word? Are they desecrating the Word? All those types of things. So, icon versus idol. Someone made a comment about paying 55% in income taxes. Oh my goodness. Folks, the IRS tax code is 6,000 pages, but only 30 of it truly talk about how you are to think about your taxes, which are recognizing income and deductions. That's about 30 of those pages. All of the other pages are literally just rules to incentivize certain behavior. That's all it is. Some people call them loopholes. That's not what they are. They're the federal and state government or municipalities trying to get you to do more of this or less of that for economic reasons, those types of stuff. So educate yourself on the incentives that are written and codified in the IRS. And the great thing about this, and I'll park it here, those 30 pages, they don't tell you what you owe. They explain to you how you define how much money you're claiming you made, and you define how many deductions you're claiming that you are to deduct. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but if they don't like what you write, they're going to get after you. Nope. They will accept whatever you come up with one caveat. If they get a piece of paper from another company or somebody else whose numbers are different than your claim, i.e. their claim is different than your claim, the IRS will simply ask you, hey, you claim to not have gotten $30,000 from XYZ Corp. They happen to have just sent us a piece of paper, a 1099, that says that they did give you $30,000. We just need the two of you to provide clarity. Did or didn't you get that money?
Ned,
That's it.
Ned,
That's it.
Ned. First, holy shit, topic change. Two, don't you think it's mildly dangerous to pass out like wild tax advice this early in the morning? I do, and I would disavow anybody like, don't fuck with the IRS. Don't listen to anybody. Like, get a lawyer, get an accountant, but gee, gad, don't start fucking with the IRS. To the larger issue we were discussing, I feel like there's a lot of minding other people's business in the town square today. Al's like, my neighbor can't fly a flag the way he wants to. And really to this point, I think somebody military will correct me if I'm wrong. The distress flag is for like a, you know, it's a group of Americans who are trying to signal, hey, to the larger group, right? We are in distress and we can do this silently and people
Exactly.
can see it, right? And it creates a conversation. It's a matter of expression. And I think it's kind of a clever thing, right? I mean, Al, go down there and talk to him. Don't go to the homeowners association. That's like Puritan bullshit. And I think the one thing that we have done pretty good to wipe out of our character and we should continue to is that minding other people's business. The Puritans are always sneaking up in our national character and saying like, let's have a neighborhood watch. Let's demand everybody do things the way I want them. Tap isn't putting his hand on his heart. Somebody tell Tap to put his hand on his heart. Right? Who cares what Kaepernick does? He sucks at football, which we should all remember.
Hey, Sam, to that point, like one of the things that our family does is
You didn't raise your hand, AC. Don't make me throw you in the X-hole.
But if there's stress, when we send a
I
forever
hate it when they ignore me.
we'll do it upside down. So if we want to pass a message
My wife does
to
that.
each other, that we do an upside down flag
Throw in the
with
X-hole.
our stamp.
Can I bring up a subject here? It's basically along the same lines of what we're talking about. AC, you made a comment a little while ago about how you didn't serve. I want to debunk that whole thing because anybody that has anybody that's in the service, you serve. Has any parent sent their kid off to war, you serve. Any husband that had his wife go into the military, you serve. That's why you fall under the umbrella of the military family. Anybody that has been put into service, their family serves. So please, for God's sakes, do not say that you did not serve. You did serve.
And she cut in front of everybody.
Snitch.
Give me my stitches.
Real quick, P.O. Texas, thank you for throwing a conversation grenade out this morning, because you just gave us at least an hour of going back and forth and getting all fired up. So, and I realize I'm the counter opinion here, and I'll expand more later if I need to. But for now, I'm freaking enjoying hearing the debate back and forth.
My pleasure. My pleasure, gents. My pleasure.
Kevin, you jumped up here, buddy. What do you got for us this morning? And good morning.
Good morning, Punchbowl. And yeah, I literally only have about a minute. I took break late this morning, so thanks for letting me up. Al, you know, and I do want to direct it to him because it was something he said. Respectfully, Al, I disagree. You know I like you. We're connected, but I have to disagree. The day that Joe Biden was sworn in, I was living in a different house. I flipped my flag upside down. I think we are a nation in distress. Now, currently in front of my house, the flag is flying in the proper position alongside the red, white, and blue Christian flag with the cross on it. Either one flanks my front door. But I would think nothing, especially if, they end up throwing Trump in the slammer. I would think nothing of flipping that upside down because I think in all honesty, we are a nation in distress. I don't know what the solution's going to be. I don't know how we're getting out of this. I am going to vote, but I don't think we're getting out of it by voting. But that's really all I have this morning. Thanks for having me up. Don't forget to like and retweet the space. Love you guys.
Real quick. If I may, because that was directed at me, if I could just answer real fast.
I thought you heard.
No, Al. Wait for Tap.
Oh, sorry, Tap.
No problem. Lisa S. I see your comments below. The reason that Kevin got to go in front of you for the hands, I see your comment. Kevin's actually a member of the Punchbowl team, and he's at work. So when we see him put his hand up, he gets priority. I'm sorry you feel that your hand wasn't gotten to you right away. Please put it up and we'll try and get you prioritized. But I did see your comments and I did want to let you know that that's not how we normally do things. I'm sorry you ran into that, but request a mic. We'll get you up here to speak in the rotation as soon as possible. Sorry you felt that way this morning.
So can I answer Kevin real fast and jump in front of the hands? Because, so here's what happened. I saw the flag upside down. It upset me. All right. But then I decided to actually go talk to the guy, and he is a veteran. And I explained why I felt the way that I did. And the reason he was flying the flag upside down was because Biden had been elected president. So I understand what you're saying, Kevin, and I understand what you're saying, Chad. And I should probably have not have done what I did, but I did tell the guy, I was honest with him, and I explained my views and my opinion, and he respected that. But like I said, it's a free country. People can do whatever they want, right? But just so that you all know, we're on talking terms. I mean, he lives right around the corner from me, and I have no problem actually explaining why I do the things that I do. And to Jeff's point, he's 100% correct. If you have anybody who served in the military and you sent those people off to fight in other lands and stuff like that, you experienced some of the same things that they did, because if you are a family member, you worry about them every single day. So it impacts everyone and everything that you are about. So I don't think he could have said that any better. You are part of the family. Whether you serve or not, you're definitely part of the family. And I apologize for going in front of anyone else, but I wanted to reply to Kevin, who's probably back at work. And Chad, I respect you and I follow you and I listen to everything you say in your spaces, and I think you're great. So again, that's why I like coming into the Punch Bowl, because we can talk about these things and we can have healthy debates. So that's what America should be all about.
Thanks, Al.
Guys,
Chad, I
I'm gonna be
believe it's. Go ahead, Tab.
sorry. I was joking around for a second. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I paid PO Texas. I sent him a free copy of the cookbook. He already had one, but I sent him another one. And I was like, hey, can you get this going? Because we've got the new Pledge of Allegiance merch line on the Punchbowl.space. No, I'm just kidding. We have recorded stuff now, and I won't do that plug. All right, I'm done.
Okay, Chad, go for it, buddy.
And Al, I appreciate all your support and don't. That's what the town square is all about. That's why I talk about it in every show, because this is the way it's supposed to be done. You guys handle a great space, and it's in legitimate town square. Just because I disagree with you emphatically doesn't mean that I want to hurt you or be mad at you. When we can get past the vitriol of what we disagree upon, we will more than likely rally around what we do. But it's also good to have those perspectives. And I'm in a very special position, having 2 shows a day, where I'm able to say fuck you, and this is my platform, and I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, whether you fucking like it or not. But you still have the absolute freedom to turn the channel, but they don't, and that's fine. And I get the trolls, and they're my favorite part of my day. But that being said, we have to look at things in perspective. You all have always heard me break it down to its minutia. One of the reasons I love Samuel so much, he does the same thing. Break it down to its minutia, exactly what it is. Stop with all the fluff and the bullshit around it. I don't care if your pussy hurts and you didn't like it. You shouldn't have called the HOA. That's just what I'm saying, Al. I would say that to anybody, because I fucking hate HOAs. They were born in Connecticut. Connecticut's a terrible, 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 terrible state. And this is a Connecticut HOA thing. HOAs, and you're talking to the master of HOAs. I had $6,000 worth of fines, and I told them at a meeting, you're all going to die before me. I will wait you out. I'm not paying shit. You're not putting a lease on my house. And it was because I put my military Jeeps, which you saw in a video I posted, out in my driveway, and they said that those are toys. And I'm like, they have license plates, you dumb fucks. And the whole point to my thing here is I got into the HOA thing, and all it is a bunch of old people that want to be fucking pissed off, whether they're in the military or they're from Connecticut. And the bylaws of everything in an HOA has been adjudicated over so many different states to actually be unconstitutional. For instance, my dog Diesel, all of his commands are in Finnish. He doesn't go on leashes because I don't have to. He's certified. And they say in our neighborhood, we have a leash law. So when I walk my dog, and people walk up to me, he goes in between my legs and he sits. He's trained. They have tried to find me a bunch of times for having him on a leash. But the thing is, an HOA cannot override federal or state law, or county law or city law. Our county has a no leash. We don't have a leash law in our county. These are things that we don't understand because people just think rules are just arbitrary rules because some dickhead that has nothing better to do than to join the HOA and walk around all day and take notes and make rules. Fuck that shit. It doesn't work that way. Freedom is freedom if it's absolute. And that means Colin Kaepernick can sit there on the sidelines, flick his bean, take a knee, do whatever he wants, but I don't have to like it. And the idea that somebody doesn't want to put their hand over their heart for the national anthem, I don't care. But I do want to give perspective. And that perspective is why I do it. And the perspective is why I care about my country. It doesn't mean I care about my country more than Tap or anybody else, or even Colin Kaepernick. But one thing that was brought up was Rafone. If you are in the uniform of this country and are being paid for by this country, you'll do what your boss tells you. Just like the Dallas Cowboys said, nobody will take a knee on my sideline. They never did until they all took a knee at once because they thought that was a smart thing to do before they even did the national anthem in the middle of the field. But they never did it during the national anthem. They wouldn't allow it. And he said, I will fire the hot dog guy. I will fire the number one quarterback. You work for me, and during this time, you will stand for the national anthem. Same with Rafone. She should have been told the same thing when she has the U.S. Soccer logo on her chest. That shit is where I draw the line. There's a difference between what you believe and who's paying you for that particular time. And to sit there and put your hand over your heart for the national anthem, you don't have to do that, and they can't tell you to do that, but they can make you stand for the national anthem during the time that you are on the proverbial clock, or your representation of my club or anything that I am. If I am the owner of a soccer club and I want you to stand for the national anthem and you don't, I have the right to fire you for whatever I want to fire you for. I may have to pay you out of a contract, but nonetheless, I during that time, and I expect this as part of your job description. That's what you should do. And the fact that Colin Kaepernick did what he want, it doesn't matter. It just pissed off the world, but it made people talk too. As far as the national anthem goes, it's why I stand and put my hand over my heart or salute if in uniform. Either way is because of my military career and what I believe that represents. The flag being in distress is individual. Just like Samuel said, it could be a unit, it could be a team, it could be a neighborhood, it could be a person. And if you feel that the United States is under distress, you fly the flag how you want. And it's still in respect of the flag. There is no national nomenclature that says, okay, everybody flip your flags upside down. We're under distress now. Like that's ever going to happen anyway, Al. It's individual, unit, people, person, neighborhood, and it is in accordance with the flag.
Thanks a lot, Chad. Ned, believe you're up, buddy.
Yeah, so I was only trying to respond in context to a comment of somebody paying 55% of their income to taxes. I didn't see who made the comment to me about my not talking about taxes, that I shouldn't be talking about tax avoidance techniques. Who was that mentioned that?
It's okay, Ned. Don't worry about it. It's past.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'll leave it to Jeff and Bishop and others if I might be one that might want to talk about tax avoidance or not and try to help people.
Right. It was real quick. Good morning, everyone. All right, so it was Samuel. Samuel is a member of the Punch Bowl. He's like kind of a co-host as well. I don't think Samuel knows of you yet, Ned. I don't think he's run into you very much yet. So I think that's why we had this little thing this morning. But yeah.
No worries. That's what I assumed what it was. I haven't really hung out here much since Brian, which I don't know why Brian's not here anymore, but I'm sure I'll find out somehow.
I see him around sometimes.
Let me know when you find out.
Right. I see him around sometimes. Give him a talking to. See what's up.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to focus on stuff IRL, if I had to guess.
P.O. Texan, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, just a comment to something Chad was saying. Well, there is a flag code. There is an etiquette, if you will, for the flag. Like, I was at a basketball game my young son was playing, and first thing I noticed when I walked into the gym was the fact that at a state of Texas educational place, if you will, the flag wasn't hanging correctly. In other words, they had the constellation on the upper right side, and that's the first thing that grabbed my mind. It wasn't the fact that I was there at a ball game, watched my son play. It was the fact that our banner was hanging wrong, because they had it hanging banner style. The constellation is always upper left, and to a speaker from the viewing public, the constellation is always supposed to be the upper left, whether it's hanging flag style or banner style. And but yeah, there is an etiquette, and I try to follow it. My flags never touch the ground. When they're tethered, they're replaced. And man, the flag itself and what she represents in my own heart sits just below Jesus Christ. That's where it stands in my world. And I can only hope that others feel the same way. Another one of those awkward silences. I'm sorry, guys.
Novelty is complex. That's what it is. And so I see really a concatenation of tendencies and forces here at the end. It's only going to get weirder. The level of contradiction is going to rise excruciatingly, even beyond the excruciating present levels of contradiction. I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder. And finally, it's going to be so weird that people are going to have to talk about how weird it is. And at that
Hey, Chad. Who's the guy that takes the submissions and gives them to you at 6 o'clock? I need him to follow me, because I got a slew of what the F moments. It might just get you fired up.
Don't do it. Wait, I can't hear you, Bishop. You sound like you're in a coffee can.
Maybe it's my Bluetooth. Maybe I wasn't talking long enough. Who's your guy? Is it Zach, or the guy that gives you your submissions at 6 o'clock?
Oh, for the roundup. Zach Holland. He's in charge of production. Yeah, he's the one that they aggregate it through all the other producers and show hosts. And Ray Dietrich, our owner, I swear he lives on the black web and tries to find the most fucked up shit he can. But they just really like to try to screw with me. So yeah, it would be Zach Hellman.
I think I followed him, but he had no way I couldn't DM or send him some submissions.
Yeah, he's I think his thing is head ass kicker at Red Voice Media or something. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, they're actually trying to come up with or do an email that people can send in submissions, or they're talking about even setting up just a Twitter account for people to set, and then I don't know what they're going to do. It makes me even more nervous to see what could come, because like last night was off the rails.
Yeah, I was in a dead zone watching my son doing his conditioning for football, and the damn school. Everybody in the punch bowl knows, like, if I'm holding the space, it's not going to last more than 2 minutes once I pull into that parking lot. So, but it was breaking out. It was up and down for me, but it was still pretty good shows.
Yeah, we had, well, my 2:00 show yesterday was a shit show because I couldn't see my show production list because I ripped my contact during Metallica and I couldn't see. And then when I went and grabbed one during a commercial to put in my eye, I put in the wrong eye. So I thought something was all fucked up with my eye, but I put the wrong contact in my left eye. So I'm thank God we're on Spaces, because I could ask questions to people and answer them, because I couldn't see, and I could not see all my show notes. I couldn't see the production. I was screwed up bad. So 2:00 wasn't bueno.
I mean, adding a pair of reading glasses or something with your hand on your forehead would really be a distinction of your intellect. Just saying.
I go between redneck and smart. I just like it.
Hey,
Get them red,
hey.
white. Get them red, white, and blue.
Careful with the redneck talk, y'all. I are one.
Not when I've got the red fucking river going down my back, son. PO'd, I'm as redneck country dumbass as you can show, and I go between redneck and super intelligent. So I'm trying to represent us correctly. I'm just saying, I mean, I call the fallopian tubes the fallopians, and the vagine, and I mean, I try to keep it as redneck as possible for America, and at the same time be intelligent enough to articulate the situation. So I live in between the world of redneck and smart. I'm not saying I'm smart or all out redneck, but I will shoot some shit and drink some shit and chase some yoga pants.
Well,
I
Jim,
just
the
warn
fire
everyone
department.
real quick to not make Jeff Foxworthy references. Like, can we just avoid going back to "you might be a redneck if"?
Yeah,
Here's your sign.
Fire department page just dropped. Got to run, gents. Y'all be safe, ladies. Y'all be safe. Love y'all. Later.
Be safe, bro. Man, he was working at a good fire department, because my fire department, shit, I wouldn't have had any time to be on a space. Y'all be hearing sirens and shit. But good for him. Be safe out there, bro. I miss it.
Dude, this morning, the last 15 minutes, I'm just like speechless. I'm doing back chats. I'm writing his shit down. I'm freaking furious. It was what the fuck just happened? What the fuck? What the fuck? All right, that's enough.
See if we can get away with the F-bombs, huh?
Oh, we're on Rumble. We can totally get away with the F-bombs. I mark for Rumble and Spotify, I mark every episode as explicit.
Did you see the last clip I did yesterday on my 6:00 show, and I brought in United Spot? He said fuck 132 times in one paragraph. I was just sitting there going, and luckily my mother-in-law, it's the only word she doesn't want to hear from me, but she's okay if I do it on the show because it's what it is. But thank God she was on a plane to California. She didn't hear it, so I was so fucking worried.
So I want to ask you a question in your history on terrestrial and all that. If you part ways with someone and your listeners are like, what happened to so and so? You can't just straight up say oh, they're fucking gone. They were fired or they quit or whatever. Do you just do oh, I wish them the best, blah blah blah? Does it ever get annoying? Stop fucking asking about that person. They're gone. Dad left, all right? Shit.
Let's see. I've been fired from 3 radio stations, so it sounds bad when you say it that way, but the last time was because of January 6th, and I was on a conservative talk show. We were syndicated throughout the state in North Carolina and Georgia, and before I even made it home from January 6th, there was all the liberal rags, even in South Carolina, were out there just hammering me. When I got fired from 94.5, the morning show actually lost their shit about me being fired. The Liz Calloway morning show, they went off, and they actually did a I was actually at the Capitol building sitting in the parking lot when they did it. They actually did a terrestrial radio, and when we say terrestrial radio, we're saying like a station in your car. They did what you're not ever supposed to do by having a moment of silence for free speech, and they did it for 10 minutes, and they almost lost their jobs because the radio completely went dark for 10 minutes, and they lost their mind for the half hour about me being terminated because I was at an event in Washington. I never spoke at the event. I was actually filming and reporting to them in the morning show and another show, and I got fired just for being there because of all the bad press about me being there. And people said that because I had also interviewed Jeremy Bertino, who is known as Noble Beard. He's the guy that was a Proud Boy that got stabbed in the stomach in the protest prior. So everybody turned it into I was the leader of the Proud Boys and all this other shit, and that I was down there running this, and there's people saying that I was in the Capitol building. It was just a shit show, and they fired me without figuring it all out. But yeah, it's when somebody's gone, you just kind of say, whoopsie daisy, here we go. And you ignore the text line if somebody's been canned. I never did. There was a guy that I hated that was on after me. And when he got canned, people came on the text line. I said, he's a cuck, so he had to go. This is a alpha station. We don't deal with that. Luckily my GM he was from Howard Stern. He was with Howard Stern for 10 years. So he loved what I did, but the owners of it, they were actually Democrats, that's why that happens. But yeah, it's usually like, yeah, dad's gone, or this guy sucked balls, so here, go there. And then you get one day to talk about it, and then after that you just ignore everything. Somebody comes on the line, they start talking about, you just close them out. But yeah, they killed me for radio after that, though, because it's connected to January 6th. The other two times I lost my job on a radio, I was hired within 3 hours of losing that job. But after January 6th, nobody will touch me.
Yeah, media is owned by the libs.
Dude, what about the lips? What?
The media is owned by the libs, like the mainstream. Like you got BlackRock and Vanguard's heavily invested in a lot of it and things like that. So when you start saying things that are against their narrative, they get pissed off real quick.
Yeah, which is what I'm hearing from so many other influencers out here about us being able to bring the spaces into our shows. We're basically telling the government to kiss our ass. And I mean, we don't need a transformer. We don't need a number. We're not on a podcast, and be able to bring you all into our shows. It pisses them off. And you know, the more popular this gets, you know, with the whole space thing, we've already heard from Twitter. They're excited because we've innovated, which, you know, that's a big thing for Elon. They're excited what we're doing. And now that we're looking to put the whole network on for the 10 out, 12 hours during the day in one continuous space, and we've made it work for 5 so far. So yeah, we're changing the game, and we're taking the government out of this aspect of it. Think if we actually made this big enough to where people come back to Twitter just to listen to radio if they want to, and they go through the spaces and are able to. Because the big problem with video is that you have all the streaming services, then you have all of we put out to like 30 or 40 different streaming places and social medias. I'm real big in India for some reason. I don't know why there's a social media thing, and Indians love me. But it's really, really hard because nobody wants to leave Twitter to go over to Rumble, or nobody wants to go to Facebook because they hate Facebook. There's so much, but to go to where spaces can turn into this terrestrial radio thing again, and people can watch it, it changes the game. It's pretty exciting. The numbers have been stupid. Just in the 5 hours yesterday, we did almost 20,000 listens.
Well, I sat in there with you all day yesterday, and I tell you what, man, I think you're still miles ahead of what everybody else is trying to do currently. And I'll say it again also, I think you should keep that stuff under your hat as far as teaching the technology because nobody else is replicating it currently, and let them figure it out for themselves. But you need to continue on with what you're doing, Chad, because it's good work, brother. And I loved sitting in there all day yesterday with you.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. It does. And I'm all about the mission, but yeah, we're gonna keep a hold of this technology that we figured out to make this work. And we're gonna hold on to it a while, try to get ahead of the market a little bit. It's a great opportunity since we rebranded Red Voice in January with 1,000 followers. We're almost at 50,000 now. So, and then we've grown. We have never had a week we've gone backwards. We've been at least 20% in growth or higher every month. And, to say that we did 17 million views across the Red Voice network just on Twitter in July, we're pretty damn proud of that. And apparently our Roku's going off right now, and Apple TV was our first day yesterday, and we hit huge numbers. So we're pretty excited about giving uncensored, unfiltered, conservative talk. I'm actually looking to try to bring Chris Mowry to our so we can have a Democrat kid in there, and we want to make it so that there's something for everybody, to the point where we're talking about the issues. That's the big thing. And the good news is every time I get an email from Ray, our CEO, he's like, here's somebody or somebody that, might be interested in interviewing, but I'm not telling you what to do on your show. That's huge for him. I'm not telling you what to do on your show. I'm not telling what you do on your show. So we're all kind of going full tilt, and it's nice knowing that I don't really have parameters that I have to worry about whether or not this gets me fired or not, and I lose another media contract. So I appreciate that a ton, Jeff, and we'll see where it goes, man. It's pretty exciting. I love the support, and I love the question. Miss G last night came out of nowhere on the RVM and just dropped the bomb and made everybody laugh. It was freaking awesome. But we've had great guests that we've been able to bring in, and Drew Burke was doing it the first time yesterday. He texted me all night long like, dude, this is so badass, and it was so much fun. It kind of reinvigorated a lot of the hosts, so we're excited about it.
All right, I got a question because Chad keeps bringing up the FCC, and it reminds me that I'm old enough to remember the FCC used to care about the 9 words, right? The George Carlin bit, the 9 words you can't say on television. And so for most of my life, all that we worried about being censored was, fuck, shit, whatever, all these 9 words. But now the FCC represent, like most of us, when you say it, it's like political speech. Something that's been going back and forth in my brain for a while now is, to win the culture war, do we need to clean up our language? Should we stop saying the 9 words? Like, even though we can, it's no biggie, right? Like, because now the FCC doesn't care if we say the 9 words, and I wonder if that's a good thing.
Oh, the 9 words aren't the problem now. It's everything else that they block and don't allow out.
Oh, you mean the truth?
No, my question is, do we have to stop cursing to win the culture war?
I think that's an interesting question. I was going to grab my mic real quick and be like, well, no, but then I had to think about it. I totally get what you're saying, Samuel. I do. And it's really brought a new thought process into me. Like, that's a great question. But quickly, I would say possibly. But when you look at the culture war, if I was to break it down to the minutia, is it the 9 words, or is it morality in general? Because just because you cuss or say cuss words doesn't necessarily mean you're an immoral person. In a lot of the culture war issues, there's a lot of morality stances right now that we as regular folks are like, dude, that's a moral shit, but you're trying to say it's your culture, or this is the new culture war. I don't know. Is it the gateway to the rest of it? That's where I'm at with it. I don't know, but it shows the stupidity of the electorate if that's the case. But that's interesting. I got to think on that.
And just for context, real quick, if my wife had heard me ask that question, you'd have heard her guffawing in the background, like, you curse more than any. Because like, I'm asking for my own purposes as well.
That's one of the things I've said in the past is when, like, we're in the space here, town square, and when when the group starts talking perversion, the just derogatory towards body parts and stuff like that. And I've always said that that's why we're here. I mean, we've got perversion coming out of the closets on our main streets now, going absolutely naked. Trans storybook time. I mean, that shit's perversion. I mean, that should just stay in your damn closet with no cameras, no open windows. Just do your freaky shit in your bedroom and leave it there. And that's when I hear our conversations derailing. There's one particular one that comes in here the last couple of days just to do something, just to ask some pervy shit. We're feeding the animal. We are part of the problem still. It's almost like you accept it, and that's always been my stance. That's why the Jeffs they jump on it like, hey, okay, let's go this way, or I'll jump in with an article from out of nowhere and change the whole entire subject. So I don't know. That's kind of my stance on it. When I don't need to go into details, but we know if a person's words make your skin crawl a little bit, we're headed that direction. we're going down a path that there's a lot of Christians, there's a lot of religious individuals that listen, and we're not trying to I would say him that conversation up, but we're trying to him that conversation up. So that's my outlook on it.
To that, and I see some hands. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump in front, but being in radio and being in media, it's something that's always in the back of your head. When I go full tilt on say something and say what the fuck, and then people are like, I don't watch you because you cuss. I actually look at those people as weak. Is that weird? If we're so triggered by the idea of someone saying a word like, fuck or shit or whatever, but you agree with what they're saying, just not their adjectives, we're in a much bigger problem than free speech will ever be able to discern itself from that of culture war or the culture war itself. The idea of someone being able to just sit there overtly and say, I'm a Christian. Yeah, you're probably the one that you're usually the people that talk about how Christian they are, and they won't listen because they don't like the color of our show or the words we use. They're usually the biggest hypocrites, probably pounding themselves with dildos and all kinds of crazy shit behind doors, or are probably absolute crooks or whatever. I find most of them are pretty blasphemy in their own self when they try to be as righteous as those that they want to actually look at and say, I'm better than you, or I don't listen to you because of my virgin Christian ears. That's the shit that I can't stand. Jesus flipped tables and hung out with prostitutes. I don't really understand where it went so weak.
That's interesting. That was with the Punchbowl. I'm sorry, Cap. With the Punchbowl, that was probably 3 to 6 month conversation on profanity, and we finally, some of the messages that are being delivered have profanity in them. So we relaxed on it. We backed off of it, and we've had no repercussions from people using profanity. So go ahead, Tap.
Thanks, Bishop. Hey, man, we're a couple minutes past the top of the hour. Can we do a promo? And would you mind queuing up the Daisy Long Corporate Overlord? I'm not joking around. I really want to test that one out, if you don't mind.
He did it.
Roger. I did it this morning. I'll do it again.
Oh, cool. I didn't hear it. Thanks.
It was killer.
We also have some Russian and German ones now.
Technical difficulties. Please wait.
Beep bop, standing by music while technical difficulties are resolved with teamwork.
What floor, please?
Well, it's also a great moment for everybody to repost the space, to like the space. Think about doing like a quote post, right, where you write a nice message to people who follow you, and then with the repost of the space underneath.
Greetings, minions of the digital realm. I, your esteemed corporate overlord, am pleased to introduce you to the Punch Bowl, a realm of discourse that you shall engage with. Enter the Punchbowl Town Square, where conversations extend from the mundane to the obscure, including the cryptic Samuel, who purports to be an ambassador to intergalactic reptilian overlords. But let us not dawdle in mere listening. Your participation is not a suggestion, it's a mandate, like repost, comment, and share with fervor. For it is imperative that we elevate our KPIs, those sacred key performance indicators. Become part of this digital conquest, generating numbers that shall please my corporate dominion. Act swiftly, for our relentless quest for numerical supremacy will not be halted. This is your mission. Failure is not an option. And as you heed my command, rest assured, Punchbowl Town Square shall return adhering to the directives of our grand corporate strategy.
Thank you.
Hey, Rabbit. How's it going?
It's going well. Thanks, Punchbowl crew. Happy Friday's Eve. I appreciate the mic and letting me hop on up here for a moment. As far as profanity is concerned, and that's what triggered me to come on up. Profanity happens. It's part of life. It shouldn't happen necessarily, but it is part of life. Should we try to diminish our use of it so that our message is better heard? I would be on the side that says yes. And the reason for it is because the number of people who become further impassioned by the use of profanity is smaller than the number of people who are turned off. If the people who are turned off suck, it doesn't matter. They're still people. They're still warm bodies that can fight the cause, that can fight the good fight. So turning off any folks on that side of the house is unattractive, in my opinion. I yield.
Thanks, Rabbit. Good feedback. We always appreciate it. Leo, how we doing this morning?
Oh, doing pretty well, since I live quite outside of rural or cityscapes. I have seen an otter this morning, and I think I just saw I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it was moving in the grass. So I went inside and I grabbed my K-bar. Better have that handy just in case whatever this animal is decides to come my way. I do live in mountain lion and bear country, just to let others know. So rather smart for me to keep this with me. Right now, we have on the ground all over the place, and it's been put on social media here on X and other places as well. We have people explaining the more they go after this man, the more it wants to make them vote for him. Their charade, their shadow game is failing because all of you and all of the rest of the patriots across this country are kicking absolute ass because of the fact that we are all learning to use what is called contextual profanity. I actually have a tweet that's an addendum to my pinned tweet that states this very thing. God himself in the Old Testament said some pretty descriptive things about the cities. So I always wonder,
when someone looks at me and says that very thing that a gentleman just said a couple minutes ago and says, I don't like to watch you. I don't want to watch you. And most of the time, it isn't just because they'll say profanity. They'll say you're a sinner. Well, then you just basically said that Jesus called those people in the back of the church. Remember, these profanity words we have today were not existent then. Those words didn't exist yet, if you go by the timeline. He called them charlatans. Charlatan is a fake, a fraud, a phony. And at that time was probably one of the most destructive to one's character, especially in the front of everyone else. The same as what is tagged as these profane words that we supposedly use today. He flipped tables. He even fashioned the whip with which he struck them about the ankles and heels. Struck, remember. He also stated, when his disciples came back from the town, all of you have cloaks. Did you buy a sword or any swords? No? May ye go back and sell thy cloaks and buy two. Thus the need for my K-bar this morning with the wildlife. Have it, not need it, great. Need it, not have it, not great. And the point being here is we have a weapon with our voices. And I agree with the former speaker, the lady who just spoke. We need to learn to use it contextually and effectively. Because there's no other way that we can kick the communist Marxist transgressional agenda and all of its problems and issues out of our political and cultural sphere. That's the only way we can do it, is keep using our voices and use them hard to kick their ass. And with that, I bid everyone a good day.
Leo, dig this. Otters aren't Marxists, but I recently discovered they're deadly. And that apparently all over the United States, people get attacked by otters. And they look so adorable. And I feel like there's a lesson there, which is sometimes Marxists look adorable, but they have fangs and they will eat you, just like otters. And if you think I'm kidding,
this thing was almost 3 foot long. This thing was not a small creature by any means.
rip your face off.
They'll attack you by the around it. They'll literally come running at you if they deem that they're going to be in a fight situation. They'll run at you instead of away from you.
Can we get your best Ben Shapiro impression?
Give it. I can't even pull up Ben Shapiro.
I want to hear Game's best Ben Shapiro.
You asked for a mic in the Ben Shapiro Challenge, Game Tech. It's time to put on your dancing shoes.
I think it's 6 minutes.
You guys want me to do a Ben Shapiro?
We demand, Game.
Huh?
We demand that you do a Ben Shapiro impersonation.
Well, I'm sitting out on my patio drinking a cup of coffee and trying to enjoy the morning. I don't think I have it in me right now.
Just think about his poor kids, man. I bet that guy never turns off. Like, he wakes up at whatever, 3:30 a.m. There's like tiny Shapiros everywhere. They're all talking 1,000 miles an hour. Something tells me his wife talks 1,000 miles an hour. Like, imagine what it's like at their dinner table.
That would freak me out. It would literally freak me out.
I'm sorry, you said always on and going 1,000 miles per hour. Are you talking about a mom and a wife or something else?
No, Ben Shapiro, Rabbit. We're talking about Ben Shapiro, and I think maybe he may be a bigger scourge than we had first like thought.
And was that a feminists, we work so hard and we're always moving and we're always doing stuff. Woman statement.
Happy freaking Friday Eve, yo.
Don't squirrel out, Abbott. Stick up for yourself.
Yeah.
I think so. Here's a real quick side funny because I haven't heard much funny lately. I, as a woman, firmly believe that women are terrible drivers. We are, but I have a reason. I have an explanation. It's because for thousands of years we've been overlappers. That's who we are. That's what we do. We mind the kids with our ears. We're knitting or cooking with our hands, and we're running our mouth with our sister wives or our sisters in the village or whatever the hell the scenario might be. The point is, we're constantly overlapping for thousands of years. It's who we are. Like male dogs that lift their legs to pee. It's who we are. Put us behind the wheel of a car. We take those same proclivities forward, try to overlap. And what happens? We crash the car. So hopefully you had a laugh. I yield.
So you can't walk and chew gum. We get it.
I'm going with
No,
my
this
grandpa Herbie's old saying, anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die is evil.
I don't know, Rabbit. That is genius what Rabbit just said, because I can imagine a woman getting pulled over and here comes this well-meaning cop to be like, "Why did you cause an accident?" And she's like, "Officer, I didn't cause an accident. I'm bringing people together. I'm tying threads in my community. Like I'm making people come together in this thing I call a traffic jam or pile up or whatever. This is community, officer."
I love it.
Why do they make women so complicated, though? From everything from the plumbing to how they get ready. It's so complicated.
It is frustrating. As a woman, I can tell you, it is very frustrating. But we persevere and we do it because,
So
damn
that's
it, somebody has
on
to.
us, though. We're the ones that are supposed to happy wife, happy life. It's soft bullshit. We're allowed to say, pick up your socks. We're allowed to be able to say, why don't you clean up after yourself? That's all I'm allowed to say when I say, could you shut up for a little bit? Then you call the police and say we assaulted you. It's fucking crazy. Like, I don't know what to say. My wife says you have a tone. I have a tone? I have all kinds of tones. I'm in media. I do inflection. I don't know. So now when I'm upset with my wife, I'm like, I need you to understand. I can't hear you. I'm not raising my voice. I just need you to understand. I can't hear you. I'm not going to raise my voice. You're trapping me. I see. It's shit like this. You're beautiful. You smell great. You taste great. We love women, but I just don't understand why you're so damn complicated.
So
I might have an answer, but I might get kicked out of the room for it. It is meant as a joke, but it is a common statement between me and most of the people I know. And there are varying degrees. But it's varying degrees of BSC.
Nobody asked. Nobody asked what it means.
Thank
We're
you,
not
Sarah.
going to.
Mike T solved the age-old man and women dilemma for us.
Okay, so first of all, Chad, your tone today is very well. I hope you get some energy before 2:00, man. But
There's nothing that gets me more fired up than fucking Connecticut.
I know. That's why I had to jump in because you were sounding a little, low energy, Chad. That was not a good idea. It's very simple that we like to fix things that are broken, and the more complicated they are, the more interesting it is to try and fix. So it's by design that women are broken things that are very complicated, and we think that we can fix them. It keeps our interest up. You can ascribe the design to whomever you want, God, nature, evolution, anything, but it's just because that's what makes things work. If your wife was, quote, perfect, or your spouse was perfect, you would not be interested in trying to fix it or play with it, and therefore the marriage wouldn't work. I'll land my plane there.
Mike, you actually made a little sense there. You're one of my favorite people from Connecticut, and that's a weird list, but thank you for that.
Well, I consider that to be a compliment, I guess, in a back-assward way, since you're married to one.
I know, but that was after I realized I hated Connecticut. I didn't know anything about Connecticut. And then I realized I hated Connecticut, but I was already married. So it was kind of a learning curve thing. So you're right, but it wasn't really like that.
If you came to Connecticut, you might not hate all of it. Trust me.
Nope. I have talked too much shit about Connecticut on 3 different radio stations and multiple podcasts. I am not going to Connecticut. People want me dead there. I'm not going.
He's committed.
Chad, I'm afraid Connecticut has become synonymous with suckiness in Spaces conversations, especially in the town square. Connecticut is just like a go-to dump for everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that even includes people from Connecticut who dump on Connecticut in Spaces. Damn.
That's like why it's happening. Even Rose down there is like, Connecticut blows. And then we have Mike, who's super, super honest about it. And I give you respect for that. That's why I'm saying, Mike, I'm a fan. I like you. You're good people, but I hate your state, and it's okay. And I didn't say it near as much in my show yesterday. So.
Right, men, women are programmed to see all the possible problems that may happen. We do it 24/7. This may go wrong, that may go wrong, that may go wrong, that may go wrong. It's part of being a mother, it's our caveman brain. And our partner is supposed to give us the solutions, but it's the same thing that drives us crazy about each other. Because sometimes we can see a problem and we know it's just going to be a problem no matter what, and we just want to talk about the problem. And then you guys have to go and try to give us a solution.
No,
I
you're
just want
talking
to tell you
borderline.
this is happening.
You're talking borderline crazy because those are voices in your head. And then
No.
you
I'm
did
telling you right now, when a woman thinks, it's 5 thoughts deep. It really is. And I'm sorry, if you guys could see the emojis that are being sent to me right now from all the women in the audience, I'm speaking for women. I'm a woman. That's what we do. And our partners, men, are the solution givers. They solve the solutions. So it's literally, this is caveman time when all of the bears and animals we running after us, we're looking, okay, let's look at the cave opening. What could possibly go wrong? That's what a woman does, because she's got the babies and she feels vulnerable. And we look to the man to solve the solutions. And it is an age-old problem.
Wait. Every man in the room, let's play the emoji game, because nobody can see these imaginary emojis, Jen. But every man in the room knows you're trying to throw us into divorce court. If a woman states a problem and a man attempts to solve it instantly, like, oh, honey, don't worry, you just got to do this, that the fight grows larger. More problems erupt. And that every guy in the room, I think, would agree with me if I said the last thing you ever do is try to solve a woman's problems. You just sit and listen. And then you're like, tell me more about the problem, honey. No, keep talking about the problem. We're never going to solve it. It's insolvable. We all know that. Just keep talking about it. Because every time I've been like, oh, don't worry, just do this. Boom, I'm in divorce court.
Jen, why is...
I would say this is a powerful topic, and there is nothing this panel of men can say that will recover from. So I advise all those on stage with a penis to shut the fuck up, and we will turn it over to Jen and Rabbit and see if we can weigh this one out until we're guided to another topic. But this is Kobayashi Maru. We cannot win. This is bad. This is on Rumble. We have entered the danger zone, my fellow Punchbowlians.
Well, hold on. I'm divorced. And I have grandchildren. I think I stand a good chance at this.
Leo,
just give me
grab your
1 second.
cigarette and hang on for a second. Jen, you just said we're going back to caveman times. You just said it. How is it you get to look at things from the beginning of time, that be it caveman, but we're not allowed to drag you by your hair and flop you up on a rock? That shit isn't allowed no more unless you're into that. And we don't know if you're into that because you won't tell us we're into it. And you just happen to tell us that we might know because we'll never know because you'll never tell us that. You want to talk about the problem. You want to continue to talk about the problem. You want us to give a solution, but you don't want us to give a solution. But you want to continue talking about the problem. And all we want to know is, are you going to bend over that rock? That's all I want to know.
Someone's fired up now.
But we are not allowed to, you just said this goes back to caveman times, but when we go back to being fucking cavemen, you people lose your shit. And we can't go back to caveman. So you are saying this is the caveman times. You know, the cave's open and here's it is, and we're going to put a tree over there and fuck that. But we're not allowed to go back to caveman times. So men have had to evolve and women haven't. Thank you for proving my point.
Well, here's the deal. I'm not going to go off on whether or not I have long hair for a reason. But aside from that, I'm just giving you, this is the knee-jerk reaction of brains. And so for me, I immediately am, okay, am I talking about a problem? Obviously, I'm talking about a problem. He's going to want to give me a solution. Don't be don't be a B word. You know, don't make your face make that face when he gives you a solution, because that's what he's going to do. So for me, I'm working on it, man. I've been working on it, because obviously if I brought up a problem, what's a guy going to do? That's his caveman brain, right? And we have to own that with each other. Like, there was a huge book that came out ages and ages ago, Mars versus Venus, like men are from Mars, women are from Venus, or whatever. It's literally the different ways our brains work. I think we need to give people grace, especially the partners we're in a relationship with. So, yeah, we may seem absolutely wacky to you, and you guys may seem absolutely wacky to us, but it's literally the way our brains are wired.
But is it not that of caveman? Tell me one thing that women can't do that they did back in caveman times, but men can't. There is a list of things we're not allowed to do anymore.
Well, I don't agree with a lot of those. And, those are discussions to have with a person that you're getting into a relationship with.
Thank you again for proving my point.
Danae?
Good morning, Jeff. Thank you guys for bringing me up. I just came up to agree with Jen and restate that. Thank you, Chad. Restate that men are A to B and women are A, B, C, D, back to C, back to F. But it is
cat, dog,
cat,
tree.
Yes, exactly. But that's the good thing about us, is we balance each other out, and that's why women go and we talk to other women when we're thinking A, B, C, D, F, G, all the way to the thruple. So it is important for, Jen knows what I'm talking about. It's important for women to talk to other women and to give grace to the men, because when they want to go A to B or fix something, sometimes we have to reiterate, hey, I'm just venting, I'm just talking to you. But I also think it's important for men to talk more. Y'all don't talk as much as we do. And y'all need to talk more. That's encouraged. I know you guys don't use your emotional communication as much as we do, but if you did, I think it would solve several of the I need to fix it problems and the why is she behaving like this. She just wanted to talk to you. I think that's why I'm alone, because it's so much easier, you guys. It's so much easier by yourself. I'm not encouraging that. And if you guys do want to talk to me respectfully, I love married couples. You guys are the best. Y'all stick it through. But yeah, I think that's why. I genuinely do. And the reason why we sometimes don't always communicate is we innately read body language, and that does go back to the caveman days. It's in our blood. We read body language. That's why we understand babies when they cry. But that's it. Thank you.
That's like okay, we'll go back to cavemen, right? So okay, we're kind of soft, we're really hungry, and then the male caveman says, "Oh, but it's so fuzzy and cute." Club that motherfucker. We can't just sit around and not fucking, you're kind of putting on. I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying we are men because we're men. We execute shit, and sometimes, hold my beer. That's there's a lack of rationale there, but you're going to have to work around our communication issue.
Manly men.
Yeah, I agree, Bishop. No, we got to give each other grace, right? Because in 2023, if my femininity and my being nice to somebody is misinterpreted as flirting, then I got to be aggressive. And then sometimes that can be misinterpreted as masculine. It's just balance.
Morning, CS.
Hey Jeff, how you doing? Thanks for the mic and good morning, everyone. You know what? I'll tread this dangerous ground. Like I've never done that before, so it's real easy. We men have been accused of being so simple, blah 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 blah. So feed them, have sex with them, they're happy. Okay, well, guess what? The answer to this one's pretty simple too. She starts venting. Just look at her and say, "You want me to handle this?" Yes, I got this. Or no. Okay, then let me sit my happy ass down and listen to you. There's the answer. Now, you could call that communication, whatever. It's just a fact of covering our own asses to find out what the hell you want from us. Cut and dry, straight to the point. Do you want me to handle this? If she says yes, then the next words out of our mouths should be, I got this. And go handle it. Handle your business, no matter what it is. If it's just venting, get a cup of coffee or even get a beer. Sit your ass down and listen quietly. And don't offer solutions because she doesn't want you to handle it. And wait for her to say, what should I do? Once she says, what should I do? Be careful. Because sometimes there is no right answer because you may get more butts than a church pew on a Sunday. Just, what do you think you should do? But if she seriously wants to know what you think she should do, well, then offer the advice. Wait for her to ask. Or if she hasn't asked, you cover your ass and you ask what she wants. Done.
No, it's like those devices they have where you can translate baby talk into real words. We need these hearing aids that translate it into man talk before it goes to our brain, and then we'll all be fine.
I just started when my wife wants to argue with me. I just drop my pants.
Oh, great.
Now
Tap.
she thinks
Tap, save us.
Go,
We're going
Tap.
downhill fast.
Oh my gosh. It's real simple. I mean, you can try what CS said, sure. But what I do is when my wife starts talking, I just say, shut the fuck up. And then she shuts up and she goes and makes me a sandwich and then comes
Right.
back and gives me a
Yeah.
sandwich. And then
Yeah.
we go back to watching Star Trek. And if you want to learn more, sign up for my locals for more beta male treatment of women advice.
How to Wind Up in Divorce Court by Tap and
Thank you.
CS.
Thank
Here's what's
you.
going on here. Look, just walk through the room randomly when nothing is being said and go, my God, you're beautiful, and then walk off. And then do that every 47 minutes throughout the day. You'll never even get into problem-solving situations. You'll never have to solve a problem because you keep her so unsettled because, like, why does he just keep walking through here and saying, I'm so beautiful, but I want him to do that, but now I can't do the talky thing with the problems and the not needing a solution because usually you can just wait and she will talk so much she forgets what she's talking about and then you can be like, it's time for dinner, honey.
I
Or
give
you
mine
can
chocolates. Like she gets carried away. I just hand her chocolate. I like put her in her mouth, and she stops and she like chews for a bit, and it like gives me like 30 seconds, and then she'll continue on.
Hold on a second, Kat. I've got a promo to give Tap save face. 1 second.
All right, folks, let's talk about the internet for a second. 90% of it is fluff, cat videos, and people pretending to be someone they're not. But then you've got guys like Tap for Nerd. Honest, sure, informative. Absolutely. Do I occasionally want to punch him in the face just for fun? Well, you bet, but that's what keeps it real, right? Over at the punchbowl.space, they've crafted this beautiful pocket of sanity in an otherwise mad digital world. So if you ever find yourself wading through the junk, remember there's a place where real conversations happen. And hey, give a like, repost, or just stop by to see if Tap for Nerds is punkable in person. It's worth a click. All right.
That was funny.
Sorry, Kat, go ahead.
It's fine. Cap, you make me laugh. I literally have to come on here just so I can catch a couple seconds of you because you make me laugh. Okay, see, it's really simple. When we say fine, just like smack us and go, just tell me what the problem is. When we ask
Disavow.
you if we look, if we smack that ass, don't smack the face, smack the ass. And then if we say, do we look fat in these jeans? Go, no, honey, you actually look like you lost weight. There you go, that's a win. And we women need to learn when we ask you men if anything's wrong and you say nothing, take you at face value and fuck off. Because what we do half the time is we sit there and overthink it for 20 hours and go, well, was it really okay? Or, he had a tone right at the end. I swear to God, we overthink it. It's really simple. Just do these few little tips and you'll survive the world.
Really? Yeah. What's wrong with you, honey? Nothing. Okay, that means exactly what it means. Let's just walk away now.
Exactly. Just step away, walk away. But no, we got to go. What do you mean nothing? You said it with a tone. Oh my God. I mean, so stupid.
See, I learned that long ago. That's why I learned to say I got a lot on my mind, because that neutralizes the whole conversation. And I'm not saying leave me alone, and I'm not working through some shit. And you may have fucked up earlier today, but I'm working through it and I don't need you to. But I'm not saying I'm fine, because then I don't put myself in a negative situation. Words matter. I'm working through a couple things right now. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Thank you. And then they worry, and enough to worry to stay understanding that they're looking through the rest of their day. What did I do? Yep, I probably shouldn't have done that. And it works itself out. Or if I say, you know what, you're kind of a bitch when we got out at Target because I didn't get your fucking dirt water the right flavor. And you kind of gave me some shit there in the parking lot, which I didn't approve. But instead I say, I'm working through a few things and I just need a little time. Then they go back out there and smoke a cigarette in the garage, and she's like, shit, I did that at Target. That was fucked up. And then she comes in, she's all sweet and nice. But she's a redhead, so I never think it's real. So there's that. I have a whole bunch of shit going on over here, and it's different for each guy. But that one statement, instead of saying no, nothing, just saying I'm working through some shit, but say it in a nice tone.
She's gonna steal your soul, Chad. Sorry.
It's gone already. That's why I just don't give a shit.
So that's
Chad.
going wrong.
That was
Chad,
that man said to me at my wedding. He never met her before the wedding. And he said, you do realize she's a redhead, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, we're not going to be able to hang out anymore because I have kids. I don't need you soulless people around me.
Oh my God, I'm a redhead. Really?
Kat, you are everything I'm talking about right now, and you know it.
Who, me? No. Yeah, I am.
You're listening to Marriage Advice on the Punchbowl.
Oh, yeah, I'm the counselor.
So that's what I've been doing wrong. What's the matter? What's the matter is you're a fucking asshole. That's what's the matter. How about that bullshit you pulled in this parking lot? I'm sorry. No, you were a fucking asshole. But ain't no fucking buts about it. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear shit. Right now I'm pissed, so don't even talk to me. Don't even fucking touch me. Don't look at me. So that's what I've been doing wrong. Okay, got it.
Don't ever say don't touch me, because then you could shut that down for a month.
Oh, well.
Fuck, oh, well. A month? I would pack a suitcase.
Easy, fellers. AC, save us.
Oh, woo! Here we go. So, my husband at one point, we've been married 22 years, and it was right after we had kids. He said, women are really complicated. What do I need to know about women? And I said, well, we can either be straight up with you and tell you how we feel, or we can manipulate the shit out of you and have you eating out of our hand. He said, how do you do that? And I said, watch and just be happy you don't have a manipulative wife. And he was like, yeah, bullshit. Let me see what you got. So I go over to my children who had yet to put their toys up. These are two little boys. All their toys were strewn out. They're supposed to put them back in their baskets, their trains in their train basket, the baseballs and indoor basketballs in their basket, and they hadn't. And I walked over and I said, oh my gosh, look at my cute, handsomest little boys. You are the best little boys I've ever seen in my whole life. I love you so much. You are so special. Do you think you could help mommy out by picking up your toys? And they went, yes, we could do that. And they ran and they did it. And I turned around, I clapped my hands. I, did that signal, done here. His mouth hit the floor and he said, oh my God, just as long as you compliment us, we'll do anything for you. And I said, yeah, would you rather me manipulate you and get whatever I want? Or would you rather me be straight up? And he goes, oh God, that's a trick question. And I said, yeah, you're more complicated than me. And so then we grasped like, okay, he either wants me to be straight up and say, hey, you're not listening. I can yell if that will help. Or, I can talk to you in a normal tone. And he said, well, just don't give us too many instructions and make it easy. So now I get Post-it notes. And like, say everyone wants to go to the pool. I know that it's going to take forever to get everyone out of the damn door because I have to be mommy. I got to make sure we got the snacks. We got the waters. Do you have your towel? Where's your bottle of water? Where's this? Where's that? Hey, do you have your change of clothes? And instead, I have a list on each Post-it note and I go and post it on their forehead. And I said, do it. Okay? And that's it. Then they don't have to hear a lot of my words.
Hey, AC.
It's just, here it is, do it. And then if they complain, I'll go, did you want more words? Are you sure you want more words? Choose wisely. Do you
AC.
want more words?
AC, hold on a second, AC. So if you're in a, you ain't that person that does the walk by comment and keeps walking, are you?
No.
Okay. All right. Those are irritating.
No, what I do is if my boys are messing up, I go, I dare you to do it again. And I stare at them. And then they walk away backwards, slowly.
You do the mom look?
Oh, no, I just glare and say, I dare you to do it again.
That's the mom look.
Yeah. So there's you have fear-based women, you have the isolationist woman, and then you have the totalitarian woman. So the isolationist woman is basically saying, you don't exist. I'm going to continue walking around the house, not look at you, not talk to you, not do anything, and let you know I'm angry. Then you have the foghorn who will be in upstairs in a whole nother room and will just be saying things like, what the fuck? So that we can hear it as if we were supposed to come running or do something in the first place. And then you have the one that is totalitarian. And what she says is, I'm going to give you what you deserve. Meaning, husband, you didn't do the things I need you to do. You will no longer get to touch my poon. You will never touch these titties again. You're not going to touch the food. And I'm not going to cook you anything that you overtly dislike or like. It's all going to be in the middle of the road. And the things that you're used to doing or having me do for you, I will not do those. And you'll understand that until I am over the situation I'm currently dealing with. See, again, all of this is based on exactly what I say you need to do to your government. Fear. The government fears you, you're winning. When you fear the government, we are losing. It's no different than having a wife. Ultimately, us men want to have a nice food. We probably want a clean house. And at the end of the day, I will vacuum like a champ. I'm not expecting you to do it all the way, but damn it if I don't want you to just reach over and say, you know what? I want you to do dirty shit to me today. Thank you. That's all.
It's the Pavlovian approach. Ring the bell, you get the dog food, Chad.
Yeah, but the problem is you guys don't have a handle to the bell, a button to the bell. It's just a fucking bell, and we can't figure out where to ring that fucker so that we can get you out of
Well,
the
then
fucking
listen and pay
situation.
attention.
There's too many
Find the
jokes.
handle.
There
There's
is
too many
not a
jokes
pay
for the
attention
town square.
situation. You move the goalpost daily.
Enjoy your chicken jerky.
I want to
CS.
say them all.
CS, what do you got?
Dude, I'm sorry, but this whole going to what Samuel said. I mean, the whole thing about I'm not going to do this for you. I'm not going to do that for you. To me, it's real simple. Oh, you're not going to touch me? Fuck it. Like I've never been single before. Fuck that shit. Oh, I won't cook your favorite food. Fuck it. I got Burger King. I got Wendy's. Oh, that bitch, she'll cook for me. Wendy's? Oh, yeah, she's a good girl. I don't give a fuck. Simple as that. Just, it's like, and then
Calling
when women
bullshit on
say,
that.
when women say, oh, I wish you would communicate more. Do you really want that? So you can find out you're not the fucking angel you think you are? Or do you really want to go there? No, not really. I didn't fucking think so. Yeah. So, hey, things are peaceful. Things are great. Things are beautiful just the way they are. This whole thing about communication, you know what? There are certain things you really don't want me to communicate. So let's not go there. And just end it with, but I will always love you for the rest of my life, till my dying breath. I will love you, but let's not always fucking communicate because it's not so great. Thank you.
Talking's overrated.
Also, CS is sadly by himself sitting in the parking lot at Wendy's eating food while not having sex with a woman. So, like, I don't know if I want to go down that road.
Fuck
Thank
that
you,
shit. I'll just violate myself. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck.
Sell
Before
the
we
dream, CS. Sell the dream. Let's
before
get away from the whole references, though. Innuendos. It's getting old. Jen?
I want it noted that I did not take the bait. Also, men, when you have a woman ask you what you're thinking, go into like, I was thinking of how much square footage of tile would be required for so and so's house because they were talking about it yesterday. And I'm just trying to figure that out for him, so I can help him out tomorrow. Because guess what? We could care less. We don't want to hear that. Be like, oh, okay. That would take a lot of thought process,
It's a
right?
trap. That's a trap. Disavow. Because then they're going
Run.
to turn around and say, you know what? We could use new tile.
All right, something that would not involve your house, but would involve math and figuring something out. Unless your girl likes math, and then you're really screwed. I can't help you out there. Maybe talk about motors if she doesn't like motors. Fixing somebody's dirt bike or the repair on a lawnmower. Stuff like that. Just distract us. Make us think that it has nothing to do with us, and we'll be cool.
But how much does it cost?
Tap, jump in, buddy.
Yeah, so my wife and I have an agreement where if she asks me what I'm thinking or how my day was, I can basically say, I'm fucking pissed and I don't want to talk about it. Or give me an hour. And we respect that. She'll do the same thing. And that's been wonderful for our marriage. That's an agreement we came to early on. And yeah, I think CS mentioned it there. We've got an agreement. She starts to say something, I'll say, are we venting or are we problem solving? And she'll be like, sometimes she's like, venting, maybe problem solving tomorrow. And I'm like, okay. And that's how we go about it. Yeah, and it's just something like she's my best friend in life. So if you found your best friend, you're already going to want to hear him out. You're already caring. Um, and so if you don't have that interest in hearing them, like I would just say early on, that's something to consider, but that should pull at your heartstrings a bit. Um, if they had a bad day or whatnot, not saying you'd be like break down with them, but hear them out. It's your best friend in the world. Give them a chance to vent. And if you can problem solve, great. But I think when I learned or I got better at hearing about other people's problems and understanding I could be empathetic, but not take on that burden or not assume ownership, that's when I really started to get to the point where I was better at it because I could hear her out on it. And instead of being a man thinking, especially in IT and whatnot, just what I've done, dang, I said whatnot. Um, I solve problems consistently. So I want to solve problems for my wife. And like she has fibromyalgia and whatnot. So there's all these times where I'm just like, why can't I fix it? But being able to redirect and accept that I was able to let her vent and that was good for her, that at least helps me in feeling like I did something constructive. So I'm not just sitting there like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? So that works for us. May not work for y'all, but something to throw out there. And I think I can speak from a position of authority because as a millennial, I've had a successful marriage for over 9 years now, which like for previous generations would be like at least 30. And that's at least like 14. That's like our marriage so far is like at least 14 times the length of the average Hollywood marriage.
Yeah, I think what I'm getting out of this whole conversation is different people either choose to manipulate or avoid. And we're associating that with one gender or another, but that works for me. AC?
Yeah. As soon as I think it was our second year of marriage. It's been 22 years now. But we were all with some of his buddies, they were saying, I hate when girlfriend and my husband was like, yeah, we actually what I'm thinking. It's my mom said,
We lost your AC.
oh, now can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Can hear you, but not as good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
No, it's good. I hit the wrong button.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay. So he asked me not to, I you tell me.
Rubber
And so
band
that
man.
was
You're a robot, AC.
now.
No.
Yeah, I think while
Okay.
AC looks for signal, something I can't stop thinking about. Is she there?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, good.
Let's try it one more time, AC.
Okay, and then that's it because I got okay. So his issue was he and his buddies were laughing that they hate when they're asked, what are you thinking? So when we got home, this is 2 years into the marriage, I said, how about this? I don't ask you what you're thinking. Just if you need me to know what you're thinking, you just tell me. And he said, okay, that's a deal. And that's worked so far. And if he ever says, you never asked me what I'm thinking, then I'll call him a girl. And then he's too complicated because he's the one who told me not to ask him what he was thinking. So it works great so far.
Chad, what you got coming up today, man? You gonna do a pre-show?
I thought you were gonna ask me about this stuff. My wife came back in the house. I'm not talking about it.
Run.
Smart man.
Actually, I'm excited, man. For those of you that were watching Drew's show yesterday, Tom Cunningham, who is on Drew's show, a lot of people were asking me, they wanted to know more about him. So today we're going to have a fun show. We'll leave the politics out of it a little bit. I'm kind of doing what Kat and them are doing tonight. Not just kind of like an open mic with this space, and myself and Weird Ass Tom from Drew's show, who is very interesting. I want you guys to get to know him because if you ever look over Drew's shoulder in our studio, we have 2 Emmys sitting back there, and those Emmys are Tom's. And he was with Live PD, and he's been a producer on I thought it was Amazing Race or something like that too. Like he's done a lot of cool shit, and he's actually left Hollywood to come to Red Voice to get away from the stupid shit that's been going on in Hollywood. So he still does some stuff because it's the moneymaker, but Tom is a very interesting cat, man, and he's funny as all get out. So we're gonna make it about the space today and have Tom and myself, and hopefully y'all will join us and come in there and chat it up with us. But we're gonna have a good time. Tom is a trip, and very, very, very interesting dude.
I'll plan on being there, of course. Kat, what you got going tonight?
So we got a regular space tonight. It's just going to be leave the politics at the door. It's going to be bring your funny stories and an adult beverage if that's what you like to do. And Friday we have the creator producer of The Plot Against the President, Amanda Milas. So that's like our big show is Friday. We accommodated her schedule, so we're going back to back nights. Both of them are 8 p.m. 8 Central. Hope you guys will show up. And tonight, let's just chop it up. It's going to be the same thing with Chad's doing. We're just going to have fun. Let's forget about the politics for a minute, if we can manage to do it.
It's always nice to let go of the political stuff once in a while.
Yeah, it is, buddy. Close us out, Al.
So, going back to the men and women thing, good morning, Patriots. My first marriage, I was a failure. We were married for almost 18 years, but my wife didn't understand me, and she didn't support me and my issues with depression and stuff like that. But my second wife, we have a mutual understanding. So when we get angry with each other, we retreat to our safe spaces. So for me, that's my man room in the office, and for her, it's the bedroom. And if she goes into the bedroom, I know that it's not going to be a good night for me. So that's kind of how we deal with things, but we actually try to talk things out every night. I'll ask her about her day and she'll ask me about mine, and we just sit down and have a nice conversation. But, there's always those times where you're going to disagree, and that it's the silence. When either one of us goes silent, we know something's wrong. So we respect each other's space, and then we kind of go and we think about, what we're actually upset about, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. But like I said, if she goes into the bedroom, I'm done for the night. So that's not a happy time for me. Everybody have a great day. Today is Thirsty Thursday. Make sure you get out, have some type of a drink, whether that's water. I would recommend an alcoholic beverage, but that's your personal choice. So I will land my plane on that. And yesterday was National Airborne Day. So for everybody who has jumped out of a plane, hooah!
Well, Bishop, what you got, man? I think all in all, it was a pretty good damn day. Lots of great topics. Flow was good. Everybody, if you can, follow Chad, follow Kat, Shell. She's not here, but follow Shell Shocked and Red Voice Media, man. If you guys want a good place to go in the afternoon and the evenings, be sure to follow these guys, man. They're awesome people.
While you're at it, follow the Jeffs, follow the Punchbowl host account, follow everybody on stage, follow the person next to you, right?
Can we hear Ben Shapiro before we leave?
Do we have to hold hands? Because I'm not.
Yeah,
No, I think we're gonna hear from Trump. 1 second.
But he's in jail.
Listen up, America. When I talk about talent, I'm talking about the Punchbowl team. We've got Jackie in the town square, always radiating that positivity we all need. Jeff G, always on the ball, a real engineer's mindset. Samuel, or as you might know him, Meester Leonard, with that rich radio voice. The dynamic gardening duo, Webmeister and Kevin, making waves on X. And speaking of X, Tap for Nerd has been a genius behind our digital presence. Real Jeff Platt, he's the man behind the Punchbowl merch we all love. And us leading this all-star lineup is Bishop, our founder, a true American through and through. But here's the thing. If you miss a live session, don't sweat it. Whoa. All of these fantastic episodes are recorded, so you can listen on X, Spotify, or Rumble anytime you like. Dive into the gold mine of content, folks, and make sure you're part of this American sensation.
Was that drunk Trump?
I don't know, but it was awesome.
It was awesome. He slurred a lot. I think it was
He
drunk
sounded
Trump.
like John Leguizamo. That was like Mexican drunken Trump.
That was
He's Puerto Rican. Wow.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern to 11 Eastern. Everybody tune in to Red Voice Media. That goes from 2 to 6. Correct, Chad?
Yep. 1:30. We will be launching the space at 1:30, but yeah, we'll be doing the shows from 2 to 6.
Roger. All right. That's a wrap. Good day. By the way, they're trying to make Budweiser great again.
Good luck with that.